For supply chain management, dynamic buffer management system is one of the central part of the philosophy. This system is quite powerful, and this system has a widespread impact on all financial parameters. Let's discuss one by one. Dynamic buffer management system helps a company to increase sales turnover. Now, what the relationship between dynamic buffer management system and sales increase? With introduction of dynamic buffer management system, the inventory out of stock scenario and excess scenario, that means inventory above a level of 21 days of sale and inventory at a level of 0, both are avoided. So inventory will be technically between 1 days of sale to 21 days of sale. This is the inventory level going to be in the supply chain. Out of stock scenarios are significantly reduced, so sales turnover will increase because of control on out of stock. At the same time, the injections of increase in reach and increase in range, which is available at every counter that company is reaching. So increase in reach and increase in range. So this combination along with out of control scenario being under control, the sales turnover goes up. Now let's talk about truly variable costs. Truly variable costs TVC is reduced with introduction of TOC's dynamic buffer management system. Without TOC, the raw material consumption is higher, the finished goods inventory is higher, total inventory in the system is higher, the material cost is higher. When TOC is introduced, the excess raw material consumption is not allowed. Finished goods inventory is always in control, that is less than 21 days of sale at each location. Total inventory being in control, less than 21 days of sale. So material cost is reduced. Now let's talk about power and fuel cost. Power and fuel cost is reduced with introduction of TOC. Without TOC, when raw material is consumed more, the finished goods is held in the inventory significantly at higher level, then power and fuel consumption goes up. With TOC, it is reduced because you tend to produce finished goods to the extent of what is needed in the market. Packaging cost without TOC is definitely higher because when you produce extra finished goods, you tend to consume more packaging material. So your packaging cost reduces significantly. Transportation cost. It may appear that without TOC, since truckloads are the norms and partial loads are less, so transportation cost will be less. It is a perception, it is not the reality. When TOC is introduced, faster replenishment is needed. At the same time, the transportation cost may slightly increase because of more frequent transportation, frequent replenishment, but the increase in sales is much higher than the increase in transportation cost. So actually in net to net, the transportation cost actually decreases. Now let's talk about sales commissions. Sales commissions are significantly higher in non-TOC supply chain because non-TOC supply chain is going to produce excess inventory. Excess inventory needs to be pushed. It can't be pushed without giving discounts. So sales discounts and incentives are higher with non-TOC supply chain. When TOC is introduced, the excess production is not allowed. The production is as per the demand. So the inventory push downstream is avoided. Inventory moves as per the consumption from the buffer. So sales commissions are not needed much in case of TOC supply chain. Now let's talk about operating expenses. How operating expenses are under control over a supply chain which is working on theory of constraints model. Payroll expenses or HR cost is one of the main contributors to operating expenses. TOC does not suggest to lay off people to control payroll expenses. Rather, TOC suggests ways to increase throughput. So throughput increase is significantly higher compared to payroll expenses. Payroll expenses as a percentage of sales actually remains under control. The taxes will be in case of supply chain not working on theory of constraints model, there will be excess raw material consumption, more FG in the finished goods in the pipeline, total inventory being on a higher side. For a country like India, wherein GST system has actually come with constitutional amendment and changes in definitions of supply, stock transfer and sales, the excess raw material consumption, excess finished goods, total inventory being high in the system, or unnecessary transportation upstream and downstream is actually being taxed, which is subjected to being refunded. But refunds take their own time, and working capital crunch takes place for a company which is not working on TOC model. So when TOC is in picture, the inventory raw material consumption is in control, finished goods stock is always less than 21 days of sale. So taxes in the refunds will be under control. The rent a company pays for a warehousing location will be higher for a supply chain which is working on non-TOC model, because more warehousing facilities will be there for such supply chain, and the level of inventory held in the system will be higher. So more space will be needed, at the same time more number of warehouses will be required for a supply chain which is not working on TOC. So the rent will be higher. But when TOC is introduced, the space needed in order to store inventory, stock inventory will be less. So per square feet cost of inventory warehousing will be much less. Utility and maintenance bills will be under control, because the entire supply chain is working on consumption based. The inventory in the system is under control, so associated utility and maintenance expenses also will be under control. So what is the net impact? Net profit, as we know, it is calculated as sales minus truly variable cost minus operating expenses. So net profit will be quite high